This is one of the very common question. Duodenal ulcers are more commonly vulnerable to perforate than that of the gastric ulcers. Pyogenic liver abscess is to the biliary tract. Esophageal trauma, you treat it by primary repair, mortality will be very high if you left it untreated, and most of the causes of esophageal injury are all iatrogenic. They are not most commonly due to a penetrating injury. Was it there in the options? Most commonly due to penetrating injury was in the options? Yeah? It is not the most common cause. It is your endoscopis tube which is causing the injury. Iatrogenic is most common. We use barium swallow. Okay, but it is not due to penetrating injury. I still stick to that. Is it absolute contraindication or relative? Any such issue is there about barium? Just counter check that on that specific contraindication. We'll come back to. From where does epulis arise from? Gums, gingiva. Mucocele of gallbladder we do cholecystectomy, nothing less than cholecystectomy. 8 mm gallstone in the bile duct, what do you want to do? What is the size criteria? Whenever the size is smaller than 1 centimeter, they will pass spontaneously within 48 hours. 1 to 2 centimeter require extraction with a basket or Fogarty in addition to sphincterotomy. So that is the reason out of all, what is the best answer? For the small stones we can be able to do sphincterotomy and then be able to remove the stone would have been the most possible answer. Now who is that great man who first applied a ligature around a vessel? More or less he is like a grandfather of vascular surgery. It is this great John Hunter who performed the arterial aneurysmal repair. After that it is Alexis Carrel in 1873, around 105 years, he got a Nobel Prize probably which costed your seat now. His Nobel Prize. So, yeah. Between thrombosis we basically do splenectomy, which is the option, rather the only option which is basically available. In short bowel loop management, we do lengthening of bowel, stricturoplasty is another option which is available, and they are all basically called as the non-transplant operations which we perform. I don't think end-to-end anastomosis would be a good option. Was there anything else? Dilated? Dilated bowel will be excised. Was there end-to-end anastomosis also there? It is hallucination, right? So just write the other two options. But the first two are true. Lengthening of bowel, stricturing of stricturoplasty is very much done, and I think this would have been given. Intestinal tapering for dilated dysfunctional bowel segment. Something like that. No? Okay. 2.5 centimeter stone in renal pelvis. How do you treat? PCNL, which is percutaneous nephropylolithotomy. Huh? Less than 2.5 is? ESWL, okay. It is not neutral, I will tell you. I called our urology colleague and asked 2.5 is there. He was in a good excitement saying that, who is that patient, please sign quickly. Because I am falling short of another 10,000 bucks to go for a picnic. So, no, it is an entrance question. Oh, tell what is the question. 2.5 centimeters. We do PCNL, what is the big deal? Even if it is less or more also we will do PCNL because anyway we have to go for vacation. And always any stone, any money is not bad money. So the point is 2.5 though neutral is still PCNL would be the best one. Pseudo pancreatic cyst is basically endoscopic drainage or any other answer you like to propose? Surgical internal drainage you want to propose? Third option was not endoscopic drainage, it was internal drainage. Okay. Hirschsprung's disease, Ormax plexus aganglionosis is true. Small intestine, is it involved or not involved? Generally it is a large bowel involved, right? But small bowel is also involved in few cases. So non-involvement is not absolute. Option was small intestine not involved was the option. Small intestine involved is the option, which becomes a true statement then. Enterocolitis also seen. Any other answer you like to propose? Not involved is only there. Eh? Okay, we have got two parties. Assume that other party is wrong. That's how you will win the election. Blunt trauma to the pancreas. Pancreas is a retroperitoneal organ, doctor. If there is any blunt trauma injuring it, then it is generally not isolated injury. You will have injury of the other organs also. There will also be vascular structures which become injured, and that injury typically leads to the development of a exsanguinated hemorrhage, and shock is what need to be remembered. Now in femoral artery intervention we see hemorrhage and also infection can occur, but DVT unlikely. Was DVT was in options? Huh? Option D was not okay, at the end just do correction, we'll come back. Now tell me, doctor, what is the mechanism of injury of anterior dislocation? What is this guy trying to do? It's called volleyball spiking. One of the common predisposing factor for the anterior dislocation of the shoulder is the volleyball spiking that he is doing, and in that process what is happening? There is a abduction or adduction. There is an abduction and external rotation which is happening, which is the common predisposing factor for the anterior dislocation. Whenever the volleyball spiking is done, that is the most common. Abduction, extension, external rotation is the mechanism. Whereas for the posterior dislocation, it is the internal rotation with adduction. So those who are receiving electroconvulsive therapy or seizures, they are the patients who are more vulnerable to the posterior dislocation is what need to be remembered. Now let us see, I'll give you a small quiz question to you. Which pin out of all this pin is he trying to insert in this video which you are seeing? I think future exam should have a clinical video and ask questions so that entrance can be made more interesting. Huh? If you attended orthopedic posting, you will answer. I think still he has not picked up the pin. Okay. Yeah. Now he is drilling it. Now he placed the pin. Yes. Now you should tell what pin it is. Steinmann. Excellent. You are all good students. So Denham's pin also is such a pin like Steinmann, and K-wire but not Noel's pin. Noel's pin is not used. Solitary lytic lesion. What is a common mnemonic? Very famous fog machine. F for fibrous dysplasia, O for osteoblastoma, G for giant cell tumor, M is metastasis myeloma, only malignant lesions leading to the solitary lytic lesion. And non-ossifying fibroma. Tell me, doctor, among the options he gave ossifying or non-ossifying? Good, good, good. Thank God. So the answer should be osteoid osteoma then, because giant cell tumor is fog machine mein G is giant cell tumor, and non-ossifying fibroma is there. C for chondroblastoma is also there, which is considered to be a solitary lytic lesion. Fracture lateral condyle. Malunion is most common. Was it there in the options? Right? But malunion is not most common. It is a non-union which is much more common than malunion. and it is the malunion which lead to the development of the cubitus valgus deformity. Cubitus valgus is varus, right? But valgus is also seen. But did he give valgus is most common in the options? Did he give the word cubitus valgus is most common? Was it there? Huh? No, between varus and valgus, varus is more common than valgus. Valgus occur only if malunion occur. And non-union is much more common than malunion. They are all the true statements. Okay, up to you to decide probably what is the examiner's opinion.